Hi guys, I'm Leah. We are two mamas, no manual. This is my co-host.
I'm Dani. What's up?
And we do have a guest. This is David.
So happy to be here.
So happy for you to join the Mama Club.
I'm extremely happy to be on the Mama Club.
Yeah.
For so many reasons.
You can be a dad, but have mama-like qualities.
You know, fun story. I have 6 sisters and grew up with my mom and my youngest older sister. I'm the baby, so.
Wayne has 2 sisters as well, my husband. So he is very in touch with his feminine side.
Yeah.
You have a sister, so
Yeah. I do have a brother too, but I think I'm definitely more manlier than
the
Wayne.
sister is what makes you in touch with your woman side,
Yeah.
not the fact that you're a woman.
No.
That and the help of AI. But
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely AI.
Yeah.
Tell me how to be more feminine.
Yeah. No, I feel it. Honestly, I like to keep my feminine and masculinity pretty much like balanced. I feel like that allows me to function in this society. And
That's an episode. That's a whole other episode.
guys, I'm not
Look at that.
saying a word more. Okay, you want to hear about that? Tune in later, some other time, not today.
So this episode, we are pretty much just gonna talk about parenting, working. We are all entrepreneurs in our own way. We're gonna touch base on what we do for a living, how being a parent and doing that full time, also while trying to, feed them, pay for them, all the things, but in an entrepreneurial sense is a whole different ballgame. David has great things. He just started Across the Way LLC.
Bingo.
Got it. And a podcast, The Crosstalk. Yep.
Yep.
Thank
So
you,
we are very glad to have him on. He has already given us a lot of insight on how to make this a
Hopefully
great
good.
podcast. Yes, very good advice.
First tip was don't have trash equipment. Thanks, David.
No, hold on, wait a minute. You can't just say that and not give
Oh my,
context.
no, I'm sorry. You guys gotta pay for that.
No context.
Book
No,
a
no.
consult.
When we did our first podcast, it was mostly the Boss Babe era.
Yes.
We were, talking about entrepreneurship and motherhood and how balancing that out is a lot. And even with fathers doing that, most fathers work 9 to 5. They do the thing for their family so the moms can be at home. Being an entrepreneur father, I can't even imagine what that looks like. So
Yeah, David, please tell us more about just like all that you do and how you find balance.
That's a very open question. Yeah,
I can
so,
get more pointed if you'd like.
no comment. I'll run with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as Leah mentioned, so I am the owner of Across the Way LLC, which is a faith-based website design digital marketing company.
not to interject, but we are a collab now. And if
Oh.
anyone have seen our post, it's pretty good. So if you need any marketing experts,
That is true.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All of that, but take away the expert on my part. You can keep her as the expert. I like to leave the room for my own humanness and failure, because it happens.
That's what makes us experts.
Because
Because we're real and we're transparent.
Stop it.
Leah.
Stop it.
Well,
Leah.
I'm just saying. I just
Yeah,
own
I
it.
agree with you.
And
Yeah.
you own it too, and that's why you have gotten as far as you have in a short period of time.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
What brought you here today?
Yeah,
Well,
we're
yeah.
listening.
Wonderful. Yeah, so I have a background in doing marketing. Right after high school, I got into direct sales. Shout out to Vector Marketing and Cutco. That was the high school kid that got out of school and started selling knives.
I was going to say, those are knives, in case you
Those are-
didn't know.
Yeah, really great knives, by the way. Still have my rep kit, so I can still actually take orders, which has
Do you
been.
ever had someone come to your door and try to sell you anything?
No.
No.
I would have sold you every single knife. I was really good at it.
Okay, so I'm trying to be an active listener.
You checked out?
I might have checked out and came back on knives.
Yeah.
So,
Do I have your attention now?
He's an avid knife collector.
right. Vector guy.
See,
Yeah.
you were
Sold-
there. You were
sold
there.
Knives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Knives are good. Come
Yeah.
to door with knives.
Yep. Scheduled, though. I didn't just show up
Open
to
it
random doors.
more.
Only a few times.
So
But
you sold knives.
sold knives.
Door to
Yeah.
door knife salesman. A man.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every
I don't
other
know why
door.
the man part was
A
relevant.
man coming to door with knives.
We just had to clarify.
Unexpectedly.
It is two
I
mamas,
think
no
the-
manual.
Yeah,
so.
you're right. I think the AI bot is having some malfunctions here with the responses.
Hold on, let me reprogram.
Yeah,
it real quick.
reprogram her there.
At least I'm not a sex bot, am I right?
Not for this podcast. anyway.
Not for this one.
So he sold knives.
Right.
That's where the marketing originated. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Yes.
their premise was doing like referral cold calls and doing everything like that, and I was like, I don't like making phone calls, so I started using social media, learned how to do it, got into management with that company. That's when I really started to use social media marketing. I got really good at doing Instagram ads. Saw a huge ROI. Was kind of like a test pilot for the company. They were still kind of trying to run it old school. Facebook was like new in their marketing program. So then I was like, okay, cool, you guys are doing Facebook, but nobody's touching Instagram. That's where kids are. So I went on Instagram. Everybody hated that. But then I saw the results from it, and they still hated that, which was fun. So I was there for
They're
about...
older than you?
The ones that got mad about it were older than me. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were the old heads.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
You know.
But so I did that. In that process, I don't know how it came to be, but I just got curious about like how to make websites. So started playing around doing websites. Self-taught, learned the school of hard knocks.
YouTube?
No,
University
actually,
of YouTube? No?
No, not then.
Okay.
Not then. Then it was just getting the free WordPress account and just playing around with it. By the way, PSA, I absolutely hate WordPress, but that's a side note. Sorry, WordPress. Please don't sue this podcast, but,
Yeah, WordPress is really watching right now.
Yeah.
Struggling. They're like, we gotta get it to cease and desist.
You know, though, there are so many different platforms out there. It's hard to find a good one when there's so
Yeah.
many. Like, you do really have to do your research and figure out, like, what is the best. And it's, like, subject to the person.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like, it's user-friendly in general, but, like, everyone is different, so.
Yeah.
You really need help finding what's perfectly curated for you
And
your
what you're
business
doing, yep.
needs.
1000%.
Yeah.
Right? So I can understand how in this current situation where everything, the markets for all the different apps and websites and whatever, it's all so saturated that it is nice to know someone who knows
Yeah.
a bit, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, and a lot. So,
Yes.
Not with websites. So
Oh, that's true.
when
That's
I
actually how
met
that
you,
connection
yes,
happened. Yeah.
I was like, so many people are asking me if I know how to do, and I mean, I could figure it out. ChatGPT is great, you
Yeah.
know,
It's phenomenal.
but it's phenomenal. But I would rather help another business,
Right.
Yeah.
and get the feedback from that. And obviously, he's gonna teach me all his secrets.
Right.
Spoiler alert, there's not many secrets. I'm figuring this whole thing out as I go.
That is a great thing though, because that is
Yeah.
how I have gotten as far as I have with my cleaning business, with doing this podcast, with the
Yeah.
events that I host. I just do it. And people, they ask me, they're like, how do you do it? How do you have so much energy? And I'm like,
Just do it.
I just wake up and I just do it. Like,
Yeah.
I have bad days. I'm depressed. Like, I, go through waves. But at the end of the day, I'm like, what is the worst thing that could happen
Yeah.
if I do it,
Right.
Like, what's the worst thing? And so far, I've done it, and I'm
Yeah.
doing it, and it's going great for me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
David too.
yes, very much so.
It
We'll
went
see.
from knives to knowing how to build a website all on your own accord.
And
That is-
now you run your own business.
right. And podcasts, like you're doing a lot. And now you are also
Yeah.
a father of two.
That is true.
And like you have a 5-year-old and a 10-month-old, right?
Correct.
That's those are some intense ages. Those are some milestone ages to be
Yeah.
doing all this on top of.
Yeah, for sure. My story makes it a little bit different, and and it's funny that you were talking about addiction, and we're talking about the mental health side of things. That was always something like with my childhood I just brushed off. Like, it wasn't until this year that I actually had the realization that like, oh, my childhood wasn't like a normal person's childhood. Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, like that explains a lot.
That
everything
aha
actually.
moment.
Yeah.
I do feel like, how old are you?
26.
I feel like that is the age that you start to have
Yes.
those realizations.
No,
Because
100%.
when I was, 14, 15, 16, up until I was 19, I definitely had no like, I was depressed.
Yeah.
But I didn't know why. I didn't know where it was coming from, like bullies from school, or like, is it, you know, at home stuff? And then I had my child young at 22. So that, like, really opened up my eyes for me. And then by the time that I was 25, I was like, oh, all this is, like, making so much sense. Like, you really have to, like, figure out the past stuff so you can do the future stuff.
Yeah. And that was, for somebody like how I grew up, which was, my dad left when I was 9. Mom was so addicted to trying to find a new man in the life, because that was her solution to everything. By the way, Mom, if you're listening, you know I love you. We know we're working through it. Shout out moms.
Shout out my
Shout
mom,
out moms.
Yeah.
who, you know, very similar.
Yeah.
Dad left at
I love
9,
my mom.
And Sherry's cool, guys.
Sherry's a good mom.
Yeah.
She would adopt you. She just
She didn't seem
takes everyone
interested
in.
when I, you know, was.
Oh, you asked her?
I
You're like,
called
"Can
her.
you
I
adopt
kept
me?"
calling her mom, and she
Yeah.
was like, "You can call me Sherry."
Well, she doesn't know you yet. You know, she has her guard up. She's protected.
I thought mothers are supposed to love their child at first sight.
Well, she didn't know she had you until.
So how
She
would you
met you.
feel if, like, I meet her mom for the first time and I'm like, oh, hey, Mom, and she's like, oh my gosh, son, it's so good to see. Like, first glance, like,
I would look
is
at
that-
I would look her in the eyes. I'd be like, "Is it the trash?"
Yes.
You could be like, that's sexist.
That's Sherry.
No.
You're a misogynist.
no, she would be a trashist.
A trashist.
Yeah.
You know, people that don't see value in trash. There's a whole episode coming on.
One
guys.
man's trash is another Danny's treasure.
It's
No,
Danny's
not another.
treasure.
No, it's just Danny's treasure.
Danny's
yeah, it's
tre-
Danny's
it's just
treasure.
Danny's
No,
treasure.
just you.
Yeah.
No other
If you throw
Danny's.
something out anywhere in eastern Pennsylvania, it's ending up in my house. And then people are going to make podcasts on it. And they're going to be so grateful that you have such a nice couch and chair and,
I am grateful for your
and
trash.
things. This I just got for free, you know. But that is shout out Pop Pop.
But you see, free is different than the trash, though. Like, everybody gets free things. Everybody has free things in their house. But, like, it was just the amount of things that you were just so openly saying, like, oh, yeah, that's trash. And, oh, yeah, this was trash. Oh, and that was probably trash.
Yeah.
And that was
the
trash.
perfume I'm wearing was from the trash.
So you are a dumpster diver.
Oh.
Have we not talked about that?
No.
Yeah, but hey, it's Kate Spade, so like, I think I'm hijacking David's moment to talk about my
I
trash.
think people are gonna listen so much more to
The trash.
you
Trash
talking
talk.
trash. Yeah.
You know, David, maybe all this time is spent bettering yourself with skills that you can make money off of. Maybe you should just learn to just collect trash.
Yeah,
That
you know what? Announcement today. What is the date? Oh, my watch doesn't even have it up. Whatever day in July it is
It's
today.
the 26th.
The 26th, July 26th, 2025. I, David Madara, declare that I'm going to be an official trash man.
Clap, clap.
Thank you.
What a shift in careers.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to back out of our collab so soon.
Dang
but,
it.
yeah.
That's honestly really great that Two Mamas No Manual had this wonderful professional
And we
man
turned
come
him
in,
into a trash
and
man.
we made him renounce his entire career and life's work to become a trash man after
So
20
who wants to be on
minutes.
our next podcast so we can decide your career?
Yeah, we're obviously such great influences, guys. Keep coming on.
No, please tell us about your podcast and what you do for business, who you
Yeah.
attract, and what you offer in your business.
Yeah, so, like any great digital marketer that's looking to get started, I just opened up all of it. And I just said, I'll figure it out along the way. So when I first started, I was using a white label agency to do the work because very similar to kind of like what I think your vibe was, is I was so afraid of trying to do everything by myself that I was like, okay, well, while I'm learning, I can have some place that I can take the work that I don't feel comfortable doing right away.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing that. Got connected with the white label agency. They're not worth the shout out, so they're not getting shouted out. I'm not working with them anymore.
Word, negative shout out.
Yeah, boo. Boo. I wouldn't pick them out of the trash if I were you. If you see their company in the trash, just like leave it there.
Word.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
I'll spit on it. I'll think you belong here, actually.
So not that company, but it is good to outsource.
Yes, 100%. Or find people that do what you don't want to do or that you can't do.
Yep. Or that
And-
they're better at, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I've met a lot of people in the same industry with marketing and stuff, and one of my best friends is a photographer, and she has marketing background, but she's so up and coming in her photography business. Hill and Valley Photography.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Like, follow, subscribe.
Please do that to our podcast too.
Yeah.
Not just her.
Two mamas, no manual.
Also us. Gotta throw in the plug.
But she has given me so much insight about marketing
Yeah.
and the different things to do, and there's things that we can offer where she is offering the, branding photos, the branding stuff with photography, and then I can offer the marketing.
So here's actually, because you asked about my daughters, you asked about the business, and I'll make the tie-in really quick. So I was with Cutco until the end of 2021. Left them, got into, I always make the joke, now this is going to sound really bad, but I went from selling knives to selling people. Okay?
Word.
Right?
Doesn't sound threatening at all.
No, staffing. It was a staffing firm, so I was the branch manager for PeopleShare. It was legit staffing.
Staffing still sounds menacing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds like staffing.
So
like HR?
I was the branch manager of PeopleShare in Pottsville, and that's where actually a lot of my passion for being in business for myself started from. But I would work with pretty much all the HR. That was where my love for business really started. So part of my job there was I got to tour the businesses that I was picking up as clients. So if you've ever seen the show, like How It's Made, that was literally my life. So I was going into all these different warehouses, all these different places of business, and got like the behind the scenes look of everything.
That is so dope.
Yeah, that is really cool.
I'm so nosy. It's
Yeah.
like I want to see how things are made.
Yeah, it was so cool. Like, I don't know if I'm even. Screw it. I didn't. Yeah, whatever. Like some of our clients, like the Wegmans, was a huge client for us. So I got to see like the whole back end of
awesome.
the facility, Dollar General up there,
That's
Walmart,
not a flex,
DC.
bro. I did a Wegmans tour when I was in elementary school.
She is literally...
Did they pay you thousands of dollars?
They gave me a hat.
I didn't get a hat. You win.
I own it.
Was it a Wegmans hat?
Where's your rebuttal, David?
I don't got one. You won. Raise your hand. She won.
You should gift him your Wegmans hat.
I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, that's in the trash.
I don't think you won.
Actual trash.
But so being able to do that was like my favorite thing. I left there and I stepped out of business altogether. In that time frame, my oldest mom and I separated, and my daughter was usually awake from 7 to 7. My work hours were pretty much 7 to 7. And I just remember for like the first week or two of me trying to juggle seeing her, I would drop her off at a babysitter. So I'd have to wake her up early. She was cranky. I would pick her up, bring her home. She would have already eaten food and was just ready for bed. So I only got to see my daughter when she was just extremely cranky. And that killed me. And like growing up without a dad, my number one goal in life was to be a good dad.
Be present,
be a good dad. And it was a really funny, and I can actually remember this day. I was sitting in my apartment that just got gutted because her mom came through and took out all of her stuff. And I'm sleeping on a couch. I'm making 6 figures a year. Sitting on a couch. My daughter's in her room by herself, sleeping. I'm working this job, and I'm thinking, like, it was like how did I get here? And, like, what is the real point? And at that time, too, was right around when I started my relationship with God again. And I just felt him tell me, like, it's time to step away. And I stepped away from that. Now, here's what's so awful for anybody that's ever been in the same position. I hope this isn't a flex by any means, because it's just like something funny, but I was applying for entry-level jobs because I wanted something that I could work when I didn't have her, and then I could just spend my whole time when I had her. So like the only jobs that I knew that would have like that flexibility was like waiters, bartenders. So I started applying for entry-level positions, and I went through like probably like 30 interviews, and it was so funny because like each one I could just sense, like they would like read me back my resume, and they would be like, "Oh, and you're applying here?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And like I would explain the situation, and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll give you a call." Never got calls back. So
Because you were overqualified.
Overqualified, and I think they looked at me like damaged goods. You know, and
well, I do have to make a comment on that as a business owner, though.
yeah,
I have hired moms, and it is really hard to maintain a schedule, and I want to be
Absolutely.
empathetic. I'm a mother, I get
Yeah.
it, but as a business owner,
of
you
course.
know, it is a really hard thing to balance.
And if
So,
I was applying to small businesses, that would have been a completely different story. But
Yeah.
these are like, you know,
corporate.
major franchises that work
Yeah.
with high schoolers, you
That's
know,
true.
and I have a proven, anyway,
They
I
just
get
want
it.
people
Yeah.
that can bend over backwards. And it's like they
Right.
know that you could get a better job, so they're like, you know.
Yeah, and it all worked out. So that all led to, I saw this ad on, I can't even remember what job thing, but it was for, to do TNA work. So after post-COVID CNAs, they had a training program, so training nurses
Extra
aid.
hands.
Yeah. So I applied. I remember I walked into that interview, and I love sharing this story because it's like so funny. I walked in, and she like looks at my resume, and I was like, I've been here before. We're not doing this. So I was just like, let's just cut the chase. So I need a Friday through Monday schedule. Do you have that? And she was like, let me check. So she calls the scheduling manager, gets back. She's like, yeah, like what shift are we working for? And I was like, yeah, like whatever one. She's like, okay, and she like went to go back to my resume, and I was like, no. Like, where do I sign? Like, I'm like, we're good. Like, I'll take it. She was like, like, what? I was like, yeah, we're good. Like, when do you want me to start? Next week? Sounds good. All right. Yep. So I was a TNA for a year. So I was working in nursing homes, which I actually surprisingly really liked the work.
I work
Being
in
able
a
to,
nursing home.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we did talk about that.
Yep.
So worked in a nursing home for a year. Then I went agency because then I was able to make more money, and also when you were self-employed, and when I was doing Cutco, I was a 1099, so self-employed even though I was working for a major corporation. So that was like all of the experience of work that I ever had. And then going into a facility where I have to punch in, I had to respond to higher ups. There's hierarchy lists.
Way
and,
different structure.
Yeah. And I'm a person that's filled with a bunch of ideas, and I love to make things make more sense and make things more efficient.
Me too.
Yeah. See?
Can't relate.
It's okay. Work in progress.
Yeah. I like to make things harder.
Yeah. You know what? I see that.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
shows all over my face.
As far as like going corporate, we'll say.
Yeah.
Was that when you realized that you couldn't work under people, or did it take like a little longer than that?
So I did run into issues with PeopleShare a little bit too, because a lot of their offices were in major cities. So I'm not sure if you've been to Pottsville recently, but it's very, I don't want to say rundown, but it's not advanced yet. It's still old school, very old fashioned. So they were all about, their branch managers had to have the look, so they had to be like full suit, doing this, that, and everything else. And I was like, okay. But if I walk in wearing a full suit to a business in Pottsville, they're going to, it's immediately going to make a disconnect. So I was like, I need to dress like
The part.
right? And I was very successful at doing that. And one thing I also didn't like about corporate America and corporate sales was like they make you do like sales scripts and sales presentations, and it's like everything is written out to a T. And then of course they say, well, yeah, but like once you get it down, then you can make it your own. And it's like, shout out to PeopleShare here for a second. I never once did one of your sales presentations, and I still.
Is this a shout out?
This is
No,
a shout out.
this is not
This is
a
a call
shout
out.
out.
This
This
is
is a call out,
This is a
yeah.
call out. Yeah, sorry, wrong term.
I like
Call out.
started doing my thing, and then he starts saying really fucked up shit. I was like, oh.
Never once did I do it, but I still went from. My office was doing $8,000 a week when I took over, and when I left, we were doing almost $30,000 a week in sales, and I was
Wow.
bringing in a ton of new business. I was getting more business from our current clients, and it was all about the personal relationships and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And they were getting mad at me because like I would be out and about doing client meetings all day, and then I'd have like a 3:00 meeting to hop on Zoom, and it would be like all the corporate offices, and I'm wearing like a flannel shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And
That wasn't professional enough for the, yeah.
And I had the manager above me was like, we need to really work on that. And I was like, well, I was told in my interview that I'm supposed to take my role, take my territory, and own it. And I said, this is how I own it.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, it just doesn't look right. And I was like, well, why does it matter what it looks like? I don't care if half the other people on this call are looking at me like, oh, why is he wearing a flannel shirt?
Yeah.
When I'm beating them in the sales ranks,
Yep. Definitely. I wouldn't buy anything from someone dressed in like a freaking suit.
I get that.
Going door to door.
Right.
Like, I get the professionalism of it, but like a real person just like dressed in nice...
Unless you're a high school kid selling knives, that works tremendously. Let me tell you. Whenever I showed up,
suits?
oh my gosh, yeah, full suit with a tie, everything.
Every
oh my gosh.
time I get this mental image, it gets worse.
Well, you think
hold
that,
on, but
you think that his buyers just felt bad for him? Like, oh,
No,
look
no,
at him
no.
trying.
Well, I always
in his
hold on.
suit.
Right, I think they look sweaty in suits.
I know.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. So the average customer for Cutco was like stay-at-home moms. So stay-at-home moms having a young kid coming in a full suit, they adored it. Every single one just adored it. So it was like, oh my gosh, like, and the pitch was like, you're trying to earn money for college and stuff like that. So like, oh my gosh, like you're trying so hard.
Yeah.
So like,
Couldn't be us. Oh.
I could see the trying hard part. Like,
Yeah.
I would have a soft spot for that, but the suit would still probably be too much.
Honestly.
we see like then I started to learn sales more. So then it was like I would show up to the door with a full suit, but then as I would kind of scout, because also some of my clientele when I was doing that backtracking was like people that if I was not wearing a full suit, they wouldn't have taken me seriously. So you have to match it,
you have to
right?
know your clientele, yes, for sure.
But what I would do is I would always show up to make that first impression, and then most of the time throughout the presentation, it would be like jacket off, rolling up the sleeves, and like,
The rolling up the sleeves is such a power move.
Yeah.
It gives Bradley Cooper.
Well, and comfortability. You know, like you're not
and veins.
And veins.
And veins.
And veins,
if the women are in the room, if any women are in the room, you roll up the sleeves, pop some vascular action, you can sell anything.
Noted.
Noted.
I did nursing for a year. Then I went agency, so I was still doing nursing, but I was able to go from like nursing home to nursing home because I didn't like the overhead. And then it was while I was doing agency work that I started to have some residents that would like reach out to me and just be like, they would on the subacute side, so they were going home and they'd be like, hey, this is like random, but would you come and take care of me when I come home? Like, I just don't want to be home by myself. And and I was like, why not? Like, yeah, I'll do it. So I did it, and slowly but surely that started to grow. And
there's more money in it that way too.
Oh yeah,
private caretaking.
It was so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to also offer better rates for them too, because even though like my price was low, well, even though they were paying me direct and like I wasn't taking like a small salary, but the price that they were paying the agency was like 30 or something an hour, and I was only charging like 25.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to come in, so they were saving money, and I was getting the opportunity to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
And after I had the first one, it was like 2 or 3 months later that then I had to just completely stop doing the agency work because I had so many clients of wanting me to take care of them.
That's awesome.
So I started doing that at the end of 2022, and all of 2023, that's what I was doing. 2023 was actually the first year that I was completely self-employed on my own, not being 1099 or doing anything like that, which was like really cool for me. Reached a point when my wife at the time and I were expecting our youngest daughter to be born, and I said she wanted to be stay-at-home at least for the first while, and I said okay. So I hit the fork in the road of I'm already maxed out with as many clients as I can possibly take on my own doing the home care. So if I want to grow this, I'm going to have to put in a significant amount of money to get my certifications, to do everything else so that I can start hiring people to work for me. Or I would have to find somebody to do it under the table, and that just wasn't the type of work that I wanted to do.
Well, especially with home care too, like
Right.
running background checks and like that's
Yeah.
I have a similar like effect because of people going into the homes. Like I
Right.
really do have to be careful of who I'm hiring because we're in people's homes around their kids, their valuables. Like that is a very serious thing.
Yeah, and so I was either go down that route, and I mean I juggled this for a long time. So my youngest was born in 2024, so pretty much all of 2024 up until September, I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? I got my first rental property, put the house that I had, I rented it out, so that was like supplemental income. And then I was still juggling that, and I was like, but what else would I do? And I didn't know, because I didn't want to go back into working for somebody else. And it was around that same time that I've been very blessed in my business to be surrounded by a ton of business owners that are like in my inner circle of friends. And all of them had websites that looked like they came from the 1990s.
No, I've seen Hazel's website that you updated it, and I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I was reminded of that and all of the work that I did with it, and I remember there was a little like stint that I did in end of 2023 where a buddy of mine started a solar company, asked if I would come on to just train his sales team. And so I was in the middle of nursing while I was doing that, but I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I did it, and then his website was bad, and I was like, oh man. So I was like, can I just like touch this up? Can I start doing your marketing? Because you suck on marketing. Like I just started like doing all that stuff, and I remember like I just was so on fire when I was doing all that work. And then I was reminded of that in that process. And then it was August of 24. And I was like, you know what? I think that's the path that I want to go. And I want to do that because then it means that once I get established, I can start doing more work from home. And I won't have to be out and about all the time. And my wife was a CNA and got her nursing, so she never grew up with like business and what that looks like. So it was really hard on our relationship. Part of the reason why I think it ended as well, because my workaholic came out, and I'm trying to start a business while I'm still juggling this other business, and I have a 4-year-old at that time, and now we have a newborn, and I'm the sole income.
Mm-hmm.
So I was waking up at 4 a.m. and on top of all of that, I coach wrestling, but that's a side note. But
Of course you do.
yeah, right. So on top of all of that, I would be waking up at 4 a.m. At first, I was taking our daughter when she was like first born, and I was bringing her downstairs with me so that my wife could get a break. But then what we ended up noticing is that me getting her out of the crib, bringing her downstairs at 4 in the morning was really messing up her schedule.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then we stopped doing that, which then put more of a toll on her, because then from my wife's standpoint, it was
She's with her all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
And never really got the break. And I would leave the house about 7 a.m. and then my actual workday would start. So I was going from 7 until about 3 o'clock was the home care. 3 to 5 on every other day was wrestling practice, like off season. And then I would be getting back. I was coaching in Hamburg, so we were living up in Pottsville. And I was getting back at like 7 o'clock at night. And then I would be trying to like wrap things up and then starting to look into the digital marketing business. So I was up until like 10 o'clock. And then I would, without fail, like I would want to put our daughter to bed. And my poor wife, because she never got to like spend any time with me.
Right.
Because there's so many times like I'm trying to rock our baby to sleep and then I pass out. Mm-hmm. And then I'm out because I've been up since 4 a.m. and my mental is just not there. My capacity is just,
I think
I'm run
that's
out.
a very relatable thing, though. Like,
Yeah.
I have been married a year. I'm trying to figure out my boss babe era, doing all the stuff I want to do, podcast, marketing, the collaborations, while running a cleaning business, while having employees, while raising a daughter. And unfortunately, my husband does fall to the back burner sometimes. He's very gracious about it, but
Yeah.
it has taken a toll on our relationship. At times, like, we have very
Yeah.
good communication, so we were able to talk through it, but
Right.
that does really take a huge toll.
The question was how fatherhood and entrepreneurship have kind of impacted each other, right?
Yeah, and finding the balance.
And finding the balance. So really didn't have the balance. It was awful. And that drove to, on December 15th of 2024, my wife and I separated. December 24th or December 15th of 2024, I tried to kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
And by the grace of God, I'm still here today. And I went on this downward spiral because I grew up, my mom was married twice, had 3 kids, 3 different dads. I'm now in the position where I have 2 daughters, 2 different moms. I'm not with either of them. And that reality of not wanting to be my future and it becoming my future, I didn't want to live with. And so for a 2-week span, I ate only a single tablespoon of peanut butter because I had no appetite. I was sleeping in my car, and my life was a wreck, completely. And I got reconnected with some guys, and on December 29th, 2024, I checked myself into a halfway house because the guys that were in my life were very nervous that at any moment they would just call me and I would never answer again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so grateful for them to be in my life.
That's true friendship.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
Yeah.
people that will
Yeah, it
call
is.
you out and be like, "We're scared for
Because
you."
that is a hard thing to stand by, because
Yeah.
that's a very scary thing, so it's great that you had those people in your corner.
Yeah.
And it was after I pushed them all away for 2 years, and they just, like, by the grace of God, came back in my life in that season, and they were there to support me. And so all of January of 2024 or 2025, I was in transitions and recovery and was working through a program to work through all of the stuff through my life and some of the stuff that we talked about before, like my childhood trauma. I suffered very strongly with anger and rage, and the balance and it was a thin line.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad you're still here, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up in a very chaotic household, and for me, it was very easy for me to get rageful. And I never understood it, but it was because of my whole childhood. All I would do is I never felt like anybody cared enough about me or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just take my hurt, take the pain, and I would just stuff it and stuff it and stuff it until I physically couldn't hold it anymore. So then it would be the smallest thing to someone on the outside looking in, and then I just blow everything out of proportion.
Rage quit.
And yeah, and just have so much rage, anger, throwing things, punching walls, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And half the time I wouldn't even remember what I did because it's a complete blackout for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy he's the owner of the recovery house, and he walked with me. He suffered from the same thing, so he was able to walk with me through it. And we read through this book, and for me to start to understand that there is a difference between anger and rage.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that in and of itself is super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Also working through my tendencies to slave my whole life away to working ridiculous amounts of hours, and the other area of my life that I needed to look into for recovery. And working through that, getting the people in my life, restoring my relationship with God, restoring my relationship with the friends that I pushed away. And in that process of me checking myself into the house, I did not see my oldest daughter the whole month of January.
Mm. That had to have been hard.
Extremely hard.
Mm-hmm.
And my youngest, I got to see her more, but there wasn't any overnights or anything like that. And it really hurt because I could only see them for a small amount of time. And I'm at the point now, and this is what leads to something that I'm extremely passionate about, which is father's rights, because of I only get to see my oldest daughter 4 hours every Friday. And my youngest, I get to see her 2 days out of the week. And I can understand them wanting to be protective and my instability and everything like that. But
people change.
Exactly. And you have to give people the space to change and not hold every little thing against them.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, for me, truthfully speaking, the balance has been easier than most.
Really?
Well, easier in the sense of like...
Well, it's been forced upon you now.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
which is maybe a sick divine lesson that like had to be learned in such a harsh way, so you can become passionate about that advocacy for fathers, as well as figuring out your passions and your business. You know, it's those dark nights of the soul.
Yeah, and I mean the blessings that came from that is like I can put a ton of time into the business. I can put a ton of time into doing that work, and I've learned how to, and I hope that when I shared that it didn't come off of like me like being ungrateful for the time I get with my daughters, because I look forward to every Friday at 4:00 when I get to see my oldest daughter.
Anyone with kids knows what you mean.
And
there's never enough time.
No.
Every Thursday when I get my baby, and now every Sunday I get to have both the girls and I get to bring them to church and they get to spend time together, and
that's awesome.
That's what makes my week more than anything else.
Well, that drives you.
100%.
That's what gives you the ability to do all the awesome things you're doing.
And just to give, like, more than anything that I do with the business, more than anything that I do would ever achieve in the podcasting world or anything else, I want my girls to grow up looking at me and seeing that their dad was not perfect. And he knew that. And he did everything in his power to make sure that he was a work in progress, focusing on being the best man and the best father that he could be to them. Just making sure that they feel loved, seen, heard, and even though I only get to see him a little bit, I still think I have two daddy's girls, so I'm gonna...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's
Moms,
also...
if you're listening, I'm sorry, but...
No.
That's also right now, too.
Right.
You know, like, things are changing, things are growing, everything is an evolution to talk about, but I do think that fathers definitely do need more people like you in their corner.
Well,
You're doing great, David.
Yes.
You're doing your girls great. You're doing yourself great. I think that you are showing up fully in what you need to do, and it's really inspiring. And we can make fun of you for being a munchkin in your High School Musical or not liking trash, which is crazy, but you're truly inspiring and you're doing great stuff.
Definitely. And I love our collab.
I love it too.
Yes. And we want to have you back, so.
Anytime. I would love to come back on and talk more. And I'm going to leave this food for thought, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about the fatherhood advocacy part of it. And I think that the first thing that needs to change is that people need to understand the difference between what the role of a mother is and what the role of a father is. And when you understand those roles and what the benefit of each is when we can start seeing progress. But
divine feminine, divine masculine like roles.
Right, you need both.
Yes, you definitely need both.
Because
but like the wife and
it
the husband. It
doesn't matter which way it comes.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter which way it comes.
It has to be equal.
But it has to be there. When you look at a father's role as only being able to support financially, and then fathers get looked down upon because they are the ones that are quicker to scold or correct, and then you look down on fathers because of that. That's what a father
figure is.
Exactly.
I agree
and
with
that's that role that's so necessary in a kid's adolescence and growing up. And when you stop when you stop treating that as an equal priority with the nurturing and everything else, no wonder why you see divorce rates at over 50%. No wonder why you see the government incentivizing single momhood, and why men at this point are so afraid of getting into committed relationships.
Yeah.
It's true.
And like honestly, hot take. I feel like
All for the hot takes.
yeah, people will then weaponize those roles. So like especially after divorce and like in court systems, which is so messed up, where it's
Been
like
through it twice. Yeah.
yeah, it's like a man, putting his foot down in a home is a good thing
Until it's not.
until it's not, and
Yep.
then a woman being nurturing is a good thing until it's not.
Yep.
And it's like, let's just be real. These are roles and archetypes that are necessary in a child's life.
I
Almost
definitely
any.
think that this is a great topic to do an episode on, because I think that there's people struggling out there with
Yes.
this exact thing. They don't know who to talk to. They don't know how to talk about it. So this is your safe space. Tune in.
Well, Leah, we did it.
We did it.
We
got
did it.
through
we
one
got
episode.
through it, David. You
Now,
shared
for
your
everybody
story.
listening, we started recording at like 6 o'clock. It is now almost 9 o'clock at night. This better not be edited out. This should be like the send off right here.
This will be
I'm
the
gonna-
intro. I'm gonna clip it at the beginning so people know.
Thank you
This-
so much.
This was a great experience. I'm so
Good.
glad, and I would
Well,
definitely
thank you
consider
for being
coming
our
back on.
first
You would
guest.
consider.
You were
coming
consider?
on again.
Maybe like a more structured schedule. This was just like us winging it.
This worked out because what is it, Saturday? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All
Cut that part out.
right, Leah, send us off. Where can
All
they
right.
find
Thank
us?
you so much, David, for joining our podcast. You can find
Yes.
us on YouTube,
Question mark.
question mark.
Spotify, all your major podcast platforms.
Two
YouTube.
mamas, no manual.
Two mamas.
Dani,
no manual.
Leah, that's us.
We're doing it. No manual.
We're shouting at ourselves.
We're doing it because you need to like and you need to subscribe and you need to follow and give us 5-star reviews. Leave comments of things you want to hear about, things that you liked, didn't like. I don't know. Just share your opinion. We don't care. There's no manual to commenting, so you're good.
Definitely give us your feedback on what you would like to hear, because we're in the midst of trying to find new guests. If you want to come on our podcast, definitely shoot us a message. If you're a stepdad, mom, stepmom, we're just here to unfilter it. So
It's awesome. Yes. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank
you
you.
for listening to David and Leah and I. And have a great night or day or wherever in space and time you're at.
over and out.
Bye. Over and out. Step